Morning, Bob. Rise and shine.
Morning, Bob.
I'm up.
Hey, Bob.
Doors open. Come on out.
It's a special day.
Rise and shine.
When's more you need us out?
Man, you guys are armed to the teeth for a simple
It's a
prison
special
transfer.
day,
We're
man.
not taking
Bob,
any
you did
risks.
hold me hostage in the prison.
And you blew up a car with 2 IEs.
And, yeah.
Only one exploded.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
We're gonna have to go on duty,
That is a
Thomas.
good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, we have the inmate. We're coming out now.
Also, you'll need someone to be able to be on duty and frisk him.
I'm on duty.
Just quote unquote rob them.
Oh, criminal.
Alright, Bob, just stay there for me for a moment. I'm
Oh,
just going to
so
make
we'll
sure
get
that
into
you
it,
got nothing on you.
No contraband, nothing like that on you, alright?
No phones as well. Any phones,
Yeah, I
Phone,
got,
radio.
Take off of him.
I
And
got some stuff. I'll be honest.
have you got a phone on you,
Holy
Bob?
shit.
What has he found here?
He has 2 phones, a radio, and a knife.
What the?
That
Oh.
knife is...
Bob, we've spoke about
Where did you
this.
get that, man?
You know what?
I appreciate you
Was
not
it
trying to
him
stab
over
us
there?
here, but...
Was it him
It was,
in the corner?
Was
Alright,
it that
let's
guy
go.
smoking the
an escaped
cigarettes?
convict that's on the
Let's
loose.
go.
Sounds like.
You'll get your stuff back at the
He
end
gave
if
it to
you
me
are
for
released.
protection because I'm in here a long time and there's people who want to kill me.
Vance, just so it's relevant, Saguaro had
Oh.
2 phones. I'm not sure if you wanted them.
He had 2 phones,
Simple.
a radio, and a knife. I've confiscated all of them.
Did you see my pizza?
What, the soup in there?
No, did you see my pizza when you searched me?
Your pizza?
I did indeed.
Yeah, I have
Yes,
cat
it's
He's got a
pizza.
pizza.
Yeah, you get better
Is it
pizza
good
than
pizza?
I thought they got shit in the prison.
Oh,
I don't even have pizza.
Well, you guys get better food than us.
prison
We get
reset.
Yeah,
twerks and
they held
fucking
me
water
hostage
and
for it.
coffee.
Alright, there's your home for the next few minutes.
You guys wanna put bracelets on me before we go out there?
If you want.
I mean, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go
You're the only one who
peacefully.
can-
That'll have to be Gonsalves that does it, though.
Yeah.
I will go peacefully. You don't.
Alright,
I don't plan.
turn
on
around
being-
for me, Bob.
All right.
I ain't
It's
gonna
just
put
for
you in
your
soft
safety and our
cuffs. I
safety,
trust
so-
you.
Don't point the gun at him,
Right,
he's
let's
fine.
go.
He's a nice guy, he didn't stab us.
Yeah, he had a knife, but he didn't stab us.
Not yet.
Yeah, yet being the key word there, though.
Alright, someone throw him in the back of the van.
Well volunteered ones.
There you go. Close up the doors, Orlando.
And the seatbelt beeper's going on, and I'm back here in cuffs. How am I supposed to put my seatbelt on?
Uh-oh. Just go put your seatbelt on.
Big Linda is clocked on.
There we are. Fuck's you do?
Does that help you at all, Bob?
All good. Safety is key.
Wait, how do I clock on?
You can't.
No. Very sad.
Front one's not, though.
It is.
Fine.
Hello there. Sorry about that. That's my bad.
No one saw it.
Shit.
I can't jump over these with my hands cuffed.
He's already escaped once, eh? You can fit through here. I know you can't.
I got it.
Well, that's another charge resisting arrest.
It's
5 more
not.
months right there.
In for the 9s. Got
They're
the
all
10s.
stacking up.
Oh,
Yeah, that's...
Luton, do you still want to stay in the back?
I was keeping him company.
Alrighty.
I appreciate that. Prison's lonely.
Was Jerry not in there?
Jerry?
Yeah, Jerry.
He's on our way, mate.
Jerry McSoy, the lunch
No,
person?
no, no. No, no, no. I don't know his last. Jerry.
The lunch guy, his name is Jerry McSoy
I have no idea.
because he serves us soy food.
Yeah, I don't know that much detail. All I know is he goes into prison quite. Probably some of them dodgy foods he.
Any new businesses in town since I've been locked away? Or is it all just the same?
I don't know.
It's the same for now, I guess.
I haven't been on duty. A week. I might as well have been locked up as well. Yeah, and we're definitely in this. It's like 1960 van.
Seem like pretty solid work means.
Good for you decorating, carrying all your deck stuff in it. Maybe not so good at having all this equipment in it. All this metal weighing it down.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time?
Pretty nice sunny day, huh?
It's a beautiful day.
It's very sketchy. How's the ride been so far?
Huh?
Yeah.
Smooth. It's nice to see something other than walls.
7-4. Have you had some food? That sort of stuff? Been looking after yourself?
Yeah, working. Yeah, I run the prison trade skill program. Teach inmates trades when they get out. Try to rehabilitate.
Okay. Now, if you wasn't in prison, you could have been just doing that and be hired as part of a medical staff under an EMS branch or something.
Oh, alright, here we are.
Myself and Garcia will go towards the staircase.
I thought. Is your Tahoe locked, yeah? Alright, let's get him out.
Alright, big man, let's pop you out the back here. I hope it was a very comfy and enjoyable ride.
I mean, I guess so.
Solid metal, it's great for you. Oh. It's...
Come out.
There we go.
There we go. Alright, Bob, just follow my guy over there. Just make sure that prisoner van's locked, please.
Yeah, 10-4 it is.
Alright, straight through. Just have him in a cell for now.
It's a lucky day. Which cell do you want?
Surprise me.
Left.
What are we gonna do about vehicles, Harrison? We're just gonna hope no one tries to lock
Just
them out.
have them locked. I've got dispatch up anyway.
You need anything to eat or drink? I have a fine select. Oh, I don't even have
take
sandwiches.
the bracelets off for
Can't
now.
afford to have a team stationed out there, sadly.
Yeah, let's loosen these up a bit. It's
Can you just
just...
quickly check if he's got anything? Because, you know, taking him out of the jail.
Oh, he was
if you
back
know
of the
what I
van the
mean.
entire time. Yeah. But,
Yeah.
let me just give you a quick pat down. Thank you, sir.
Oh, a bunch of old stuff I used to have. Look at that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they took all the illegal stuff off.
He
of
is
me.
not at this time.
Jesus. Oh my god.
You like that
You've got
pizza?
a lot of shit on you.
You want to buy pizza? It's in the shape of a cat.
I'm inclined to leave the food. Pop that radio in my pocket. Keep weapon license, metal scrap. Pop that phone
I'd
with
take
me
that
as
metal
well.
scrap. I could fashion it into a shank.
Golden chain. I mean,
Hello.
My dad's
Doesn't
gold
look-
chain.
doesn't yeah looks fine to me. Hot sauce. I mean, that could be used viciously, but I think that should be okay.
Pour it in people's eyes.
Fine. Hot sauce is coming with me. Basically pepper spray.
I'm not going to do
And
that.
you've got an office chair up your ass.
Oh.
But you know, you may need to sit down at some point. There you are, sir. Thank you.
Right. A few things I wanted to clarify with you before we begin today.
Okay.
First thing, I just want to confirm I am pronouncing your last name right. Is it Saguaro or Saguaro?
Saguaro.
Saguaro.
Second
Okay.
one.
So I I was right. Cool. I'll make sure to rub that in McLary's face. And then you're aware that your attorney is not going to be present today. However, he does have a issued statement that will be read in his absence. All right.
Yeah, well, can we just fire that
Okay.
and not read it? I read the statement. I'm not a fan of it.
You don't
And-
agree with the direction your counsel wanted to go with his statement?
No, and he's not even here, so way to represent me. He can piss off.
Well, that's why we have the letters in their absence. It would be a little unrealistic to hold everyone to a super strict attendance standard, especially when we did this so last minute. But if you're unhappy with your counsel's direction and his advice, I am more than happy to make that noted in the court records that you wish to terminate him.
I wish to terminate him and represent myself.
Okay. And you are aware that every statement made since the time you were arrested and pled guilty is considerable for this sentencing.
I'm well aware.
Okay. I will see you when we begin then. Thank you, troopers.
You guys want any onion rings? I got some
What's
cream
up?
pies. Are you hungry? I got food.
I've got food myself. It's not the best though, but it'll do.
But do
I've
you
just
have...
eaten as well before we started this all, so
Yeah.
to make sure that I don't have to eat mid situation or anything. So
All right, just let me know.
kind you're offering though. Shit, we have cameras here. Oh, but I can't look at them right now. Fuck.
Are they watching us?
I think there is cameras.
Only cops, if they wanted to. There's a camera
Is it
secretly embedded in that wall.
I always forget your guys' ranks. What rank are you guys?
Oh, I can't point.
I'm a lieutenant.
Lieutenant. And Mr. Linden? Is that a
Lieutenant.
major?
Lyndon is also a lieutenant. You've got two lieutenants.
Two lieutenants. Wow.
Making sure that nothing bad happens here.
You guys want a tip?
A tip?
Yeah, a tip.
You mean money?
Like an advice.
Oh, advice. That kind of a hint.
Yeah.
What is the hint?
Don't eat yellow snow.
What?
I learned a lesson for that one a while ago.
Ooh.
What about yellows?
You don't eat yellow snow.
Oh, you don't eat yellow snow.
Yeah, that's my advice.
Yeah, that's piss basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's my
yellow
advice.
snow is piss.
Does that water jug work? Any way I can get a cup of water?
Oh, sure, man. Here you go, man.
Appreciate it. Did it charge you? Because I can give you cash.
It was $1, man. I don't care about a dollar.
Okay. I'll probably be dead broke after this anyway.
Everything's fine. Suspect's I mean, the inmate is well behaved. He asked for water, I give him some, so he's all fine.
It's always good to keep limber.
Oh, yeah. Stretch out a bit.
I haven't
Have
really
you
gotten...
stretched your arms yet? Because you were doing a lot of push-ups in the cell, weren't you?
Oh, I'll be good.
Alright, it's almost time.
Get the call.
I'll let you know when.
Do we need to put him in cuffs while he goes up there? I think so, yeah.
Believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
You want me to flip around?
Just give us a moment. I think they're still prepping up there. A few stragglers
Yeah.
making their way in.
I'm gonna make, we're just gonna wait until we get the call that we can bring you in.
Gotcha. I wonder how many people showed up for this thing. I know they said it was public.
Yeah, I've heard there's already quite a few from the radio, but I do not have any idea how many quite a few is, you know.
They're just right
So-
above us, aren't they? You know what's really cool about my neck tattoo? If I look to the left, it looks like a slice of pizza.
Oh yeah. What is it even your neck tattoo?
It's supposed to be like a money sign, I guess. I have a bad artist.
Oh yeah, I can see it through these little bars here, yeah.
But when you look to the left,
If
it
you can
looks like
see-
a pizza.
I've also got a bit of a neck tattoo. Mine is the eye, because I see everything.
Oh, creative.
Yeah. The all-seeing eye of me. Time for...
Alright, sir, it's your turn.
Alright, you can turn around. I can still... Huh. Alright. Come here, man. It's go time. I don't know the exact way up.
You guys walk so slow.
Yeah, I walk quite slow. I'd say.
Entering now.
Mr. Saguaro, you can have a seat at the desk opposite of Mr. McLary.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you able to sit in cuffs?
Nope.
Can he be uncuffed for the duration of this court session, please?
You two sit down.
Alright, let's slip these off. There you go. Blood returns to your hand.
And you.
Representing the interest of the state this evening, have Mr. McLeary. He's been working with his paralegal, Miss White, on this matter. Representing his own interest, after waiving the right to his attorney, will be Mr. Saguaro himself this evening. Now, I want to stress again the fact that this is just a sentencing hearing. Mr. Saguaro has already pled guilty to the charges as I read them. So we are not here to argue Mr. Saguaro's guilt. This is simply to determine the sentencing deemed most appropriate by this court. We will begin with opening arguments made by Mr. McLeary. We will then open the floor to any impacted members of the public, including law enforcement troopers who wish to make any statements regarding the crimes and the influence these crimes have had in order to determine how this sentencing will go. Finally, we will hear from Mr. Saguaro himself. Afterwards, I will deliberate and we will issue the sentence. And with that being said, we will begin with your opening statements, Mr. McLeary.
Use your eye.
Good afternoon, lads and lasses.
I know, bro, I ain't been searched.
A pleasure having you here on this fine day of Los Santos.
Yeah.
My name is Owen McClary,
1 sec, I'll get
lead
him.
prosecutor
Yo,
for the
fuck.
State of San Andreas Department of Justice. We're all gathered here
Stand up
today
quick and follow
for
me
the
outside.
sentencing of one Bob Saguaro. This,
Press
folks,
G.
is a dangerous man who has given no thought to the value of any of your lives. The reason we are here in this fine courtroom today all started when Lieutenant Aaron Scott got a call for the robbery on the 24/7 on Clinton Avenue. Lieutenant Scott pulled up and saw a Nissan Skyline ER34 outside belonging to one Billy Speed, with the driver in the driver's seat clearly visible. A vehicle taken by the defendant without permission, mind you. It didn't take long for that driver to take off from in front of the store and start driving recklessly away from the scene. Our fine officer called for backup and started pursuing the suspect. Unbeknownst to them, there were 2 improvised explosive devices in the suspect's vehicles, primed and ready to go off with the trigger set if he got too far away from him. Not too long after the pursuit started, Major Alex Vance joined Lieutenant Scott. They had been chasing him for almost 5 minutes when the suspect drove from Palomino Avenue onto the Porta Freeway. On the on-ramp, the suspect deliberately struck 2 driving school vehicles in an attempt to spin them out, hitting both of them. Mind you, he did this with the full knowledge that he had 2 unstable homemade explosive devices in the car, further endangering the lives of innocent civilians. After this decision by the suspect, the officers involved made the decision to attempt a precision immobilization technique maneuver, PIT for short, in order to safely incapacitate the suspect's vehicle once the area was safe to do so. And they were able to successfully make this maneuver and disable the vehicle as the engine of the car broke down and started to emit black smoke. Once the suspect was stopped, the officers raised their guns at the suspect, and after 3 attempts to get him to cooperate, the suspect pointed a gun at Lieutenant Vance and started shooting while still in his vehicle. Our brave officers took evasive action and fired back at him while he was disarmed, until he was disarmed and no longer a threat. I will remind the court once again that the officers unknowingly put their lives in danger by firing into a car with 2 improvised explosive devices. Each of these officers were a car length away of explosions. Had those gone off, they could have seriously injured or killed everyone involved and damaged the structural integrity of the overpass. Once they removed the still conscious body of the suspect, out of the vehicle, they had called for emergency medical services and began searching the car, which they discovered the 2 explosive devices along with 103 joints of marijuana. After calling for further backup from Major Harrison Gonsalves, who arrived in an armored vehicle with heavy armor suit to protect himself. Unfortunately, the San Andreas Fire Department was unable to respond to the call at the time. So Lieutenant Scott and Major Vance started to transport the suspect to Pillbox Medical while Major Gonsalves worked on defusing the explosive devices. However, Lieutenant Scott and Major Vance hadn't gotten very far when the suspect stated, "I wouldn't go there, it may explode," in reference to devices in the car, indicating that they had a proximity detector built into them if he had gotten too far away. This forced the officers to return to the scene and begin on-site medical treatment in an attempt to stabilize him until the bombs could be defused. While this was happening, Major Gonsalves was able to disarm one of the explosive devices, moved it safely out of the blast radius. When Major Gonsalves returned to the second one, he attempted to disarm the device. But since it was in a much more difficult position and a more complex bomb, he was there putting his life on the line for all of your safeties when the phone attached to the bomb started to ring. They took off, running for safety. Though he did not make it, the device exploded, blowing up the Nissan Skyline and sending Major Gonsalves flying through the air to the ground. Thank the gods, his equipment absorbed the blast, and he did not sustain any injuries. However, it could have been worse. The suspect was later identified as one Bob Saguaro, whom sits here in this courtroom. That man right there. There sits a man whose reckless regard for human life has led him here. If it wasn't for the fine work of the San Andreas state troopers and sheer dumb luck, more lives could have been lost. You may ask, why did Mr. Saguaro have these explosive devices in his vehicle? Well, folks, in an interview with police where he refused representation, he told his target, that his target was the National Security of Enforcement building for an apparent data heist for a group called False Flag. He was asked to pull data off a range of servers there, giving explicit details in which hard drives are destroyed. Mr. Saguaro claimed that these devices were not intended to harm people or property. However, he contradicts himself with his actions and his words. He was intending on destroying government property, both using the bombs to gain access to the building and stealing and destroying Silverbank's classified information. Along with that, this man here, Mr. Bob Saguaro, decided on his own volition to go and rob a 24/7, enter into a reckless, dangerous pursuit with officers, even getting in a gunfight with them in a very small proximity to these explosive devices. His own family, the Vagos, have abandoned him, sickened by his actions, putting countless lives at risk as he recklessly fled through the city. Ramming poor students taking their driving test. Mr. Saguaro admitted to being a part of this organization, False Flag, who hired him to carry out this attack. He admitted himself that they had since disavowed him. He willingly was planning on carrying out this act of terrorism for this organization. This all leads us here today to this courtroom, because we're here because this man, Mr. Bob Saguaro, pled guilty to these crimes in reckless driving, grand theft auto, attempted murder of 3 government officials, 2 counts of possession of illegal contraband, evading, and 2 counts of reckless endangerment for plowing into 2 people taking their driving tests. This is what he could have been charged with. However, he pled guilty to terrorism, attempted murder of a government official, and evading. The officers felt due to the extreme nature of Mr. Saguaro's actions. Terrorism fit the bill. What he did on this day was an act of a terrorist. The federal crime of terrorism specifically mentioned the bombing of government facilities. He acted on his own free will, actively put civilian and enforcement lives in extreme danger. He planned to intentionally blow up government facility and destroy information. That is domestic terrorism, folks. Instead of blowing them up, though, he drove senselessly through the city, endangering the lives of everyone around him, and the state agrees. When you put all auctions together spoken about today, his reckless abandonment of human life, his carelessness, Admitting to be under the influence of marijuana, this man, Bob Saguaro, is a danger to society. Someone who should not be walking amongst us. This man stated that he was proud of what he had done. That was a statement that he had given, that he was proud. He's shown zero remorse for his actions. He has continued his tirade in jail, even as he built cell phones, made death threats to a government official. That government official being myself. You may ask, am I biased then? No, I don't think so. And neither does the Chief Justice. I am acting in the best interest of the state of San Andreas. In his time in prison, he has repeatedly broke rules by having contraband posted on social media, creating ads, and even was suspected to be involved in taking police officers hostage. He has not reformed or shown any remorse, not in the slightest. This man was proud of what he did. Proud he endangered lives. Proud that he almost killed 3 members of the San Andreas State Troopers. He was proud that he almost killed 2 people by taking their driver's tests. Proud that he endangered our fair city. That's, folks, is what Bob Saguaro is, a proud terrorist. I'm a proud man too, though, Mr. Saguaro. Proud to stand up here and say in front of all these people that I do not fear you, and on behalf of the great state of San Andreas, we recommend that this man receive life in prison without the possibility of parole. The state further recommends that his fines should be increased to $30,000. I implore you, Chief Justice Fairbanks, to look at the mountain of evidence, his proud guilty plea, and deliver a sentence worthy of the charges. This man does not deserve to walk out of this courtroom today. Lock him up and throw away the key. This man is a danger to the state and would be a terrible miscarriage of justice to deliver a sentence anything less than life. The defense rests, or the prosecutor rests. Defense can go.
Thank you, Mr. McLeary. Mr. Saguaro, before your opportunity to address the court, we will first open the floor. I do believe we have 2 scheduled statements, and I would be inclined to hear if any additional civilians wanted to come forward. But let's first start with the first name I was given. Is there presently a Candy Kane in the courtroom today? Can I have a trooper unlock the doors there for Miss Kane so she can come forward and address the court?
What the fuck is this?
There you go.
Did you know about this?
I didn't know about this. Did you?
Miss Kane, please make sure you are using your big girl voice for me, and you may address the court whenever you're prepared.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, I would like to speak in regards to Mr. Saguaro. I've heard everything that this fine attorney had to say, and it is true. Bob is a terrorist. Bob has committed heinous acts that he has himself owned up to. I personally know Bob. He took me in like a little sister. I had no family. I had no one. And Bob was there for me. He took me in along with the Vagos. And he really helped me in my darkest times. Is it true the things that he did were horrible? Sure. It's true. But the way I see it, it's no different than any of the crimes that we commit or other criminals on a daily basis. He just went a little above and beyond on this one particular day, and though I truly wish that he'd given himself a chance to be defended and get himself out of this mess that he's now in, it's like Bob to be completely honest. He is an honest man, and he is truly a kind man, for he took me in when nobody else would. I wouldn't be standing here today if it were not for him. It saddens me that he's going to be... I'm sorry. It saddens me that he may be facing time in prison forever, where I would not be able to see him apart from through a glass window, if that's even allowed. And I implore the state to give this man a chance, to show him mercy. That yes, he may answer for his crimes, but please give him a chance to have parole, to get out, to be rehabilitated. He shows so much promise. I mean, listen to the things that this attorney has said that he's done. He's built phones in prison. I mean, the bombs themselves, obviously horrible, but just the intricacy of the devices, like there's a brain in there that is magnificent. These terroristic cells, they brainwash their people. And I truly believe that the good man that I know Bob is and has been to me is still in there and can be brought back to us once again. We should hold these terroristic cells responsible for what they do to good men like him. I'm gonna get too emotional up here. I just implore the courts to please show this man mercy, because there is good within him. There really is. Thank you.
Thank you for your statement. Next, we have a statement from Major Harrison. Now, he is present here today in the court. However, since he is overseeing the security of our court session today, he has asked that I read this statement for him. So I will proceed with that. Beginning that on the evening of October 28th, I received an urgent transmission from Major Vance stating that there was an active terrorist threat on the freeway. Upon arriving at the scene, I was informed that there were 2 IEDs armed in the glove box of a Nissan, which was reported stolen earlier that evening. I was assigned as incident commander once I arrived on scene. After inspection of the device, I found a phone attached to the main circuit board of both IEDs. After disarming the first, I placed this in a secure area for forensic recovery. The second device was more complex and in a difficult to reach position. I attempted to disarm the second device. However, the phone attached to the main circuit board began to ring, and within seconds the device detonated. We believe the device was activated remotely with intent to cause harm to the individuals attempting to disarm the device. I myself was knocked to the ground by the blast, however sustained minimal injuries due to the protective suit I was wearing to disarm the devices. Later that evening, Mr. Saguaro admitted to arming the devices and disclosed that he intended to cause harm to anyone that got in his way. That will end the statement from Major Harrison. Now, before Mr. Saguaro addresses the court, I do intend to open the floor to anyone else who wishes to speak, if there is. However, we are going to take just a quick 5-minute recess. Everyone, please get up, stretch your legs, get a snack. There are vending machines in the lobby. We will resume at 6:25.
Would you like anything to eat or drink, Mr. Saguaro?
What was that, Lieutenant?
Would you like anything to eat or drink?
No, I'm good.
Obviously not.
No,
Am I following you guys for now?
can we shuffle
Yeah.
the
Hey, can I grab a word?
Yes, I completely agree.
I was also basically next to the jury booth because I'm
Yeah, just not tomorrow.
sticking with Mr. Bob.
Or, you know, the day after that, or the day after that.
I'm still just down here with Bob.
Hello, Bob.
Hello.
How are we?
You know,
Ooh, I
just
made it.
it's court. Doing what I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm all set as well. Thank you so much.
10-9? Yeah, 10-4. I mean, I'm still inside here because I don't really know where I should go with Saguaro because he obviously has to be held back.
Oh, yeah,
and
they're
not like
called.
going to the public room.
Yeah,
I mean, if anything, we can just take him
Yeah,
back to the cells for a few minutes.
they're called. Yep.
Do you need any food or drink, Bob? Bob.
Quicker to communicate. Yeah, it's just quicker to communicate. Say 10-4, then I am in the pursuit of a person. So if I say I'm in a 10 or 10 whatever code, it's easier for them to realize like
Bob.
to communicate rapidly, especially if they're in the pursuit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want anything to eat or drink?
No, I got pizza.
I wonder if we could like.
Do you want
I wonder if
to?
we could, like, have like.
What's that?
Fairbanks straight up.
Do you want to eat your pizza? We'll take you back to the cells so you can go get it and eat it.
Oh no, I'm good right now.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you heard me say 10-9, didn't you?
Yeah.
That was basically me saying in show. Can you repeat that, please? I didn't understand that. Yeah.
We were just talking about like wanting to have the call codes for you guys so that because since you're using on reports, it would be nice for us to know exactly what the codes are for. Just for our
Back
own
in her
interest,
office, I
nothing
think.
else, you know.
Do you want me to go check?
It does make it a lot quicker.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I went on a ride along. I went on a ride along with Major Vance
Hey, Major.
when I first started, and oh my goodness, I think we were in a pursuit of some sort, and yeah, the call. She was just calling codes after codes. I was like, I'm lost. I'm just here for the ride, guys. You should put a request through. Yeah,
Tess,
like I did it for.
Tess, you're shouting.
Which was great. What?
You're shouting.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you're shouting.
We've been hearing your conversation about you getting lost on road alongs.
Ma'am, just so you are.
Come on then, Mr. Bob.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, that's fine.
You want me to move down?
Lieutenant.
I was standing here.
Hello.
More civilians in the lobby.
It's good. I don't want me some chocolate. I'm okay.
Hey,
hi.
Hey, yo.
Yes, sir. Why can't I fucking sit
You know, like main reasons why we became siblings, like a perfect control his sexuality is the funniest fucking thing.
Why are you so far forward?
Cammy. Why does that guy look like Cammy? What if he's like on this? It's kind of weird. Oh, okay.
We'll talk after. There's gonna be one last bit.
Yeah.
One more, thank you.
Yeah, fuck it. Oh, hi.
I like to see you two are alive from the other night.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's not bring that up.
I want to sit on your lap. You know,
It was,
like, as
it
much
was,
as I
it
really
was
want
rough
to,
the next
Amos.
morning, I'll tell you that right now. Oh my god, yeah, I was so
Right, if
hungry.
everyone would like to
through
take
that
their
one, huh?
seats, we will
Okay,
resume
fuck
this
this,
session.
we do it next week, don't
Now,
worry about it.
before our recess, as I stated,
shit.
I'd like to
Okay.
open the floor to see if there's anyone else who would like to come forward last minute. I do not offer this opportunity often. I do not offer it lightly. So if anyone has anything left to say before Mr. Saguaro speaks for himself, please raise your hand and make yourself known to the court, please. Going once. Going twice. All right. Mr. Saguaro, if you'd like to stand and come to the podium and address the court, now is your time to shine, sir.
No clue what to say.
Please make sure you're shouting, Mr. Saguaro.
Thank you, Your Honor, for this chance to address the fine citizens here. Everything that the DA said here, completely true. I had the bombs. I was intending to steal data from the FBI center, or whatever they call it. I was not intending to hurt people, though. And I deeply regret that these actions ended up hurting everyday people and officers in the line of duty. I was part of that false flag organization, but I've gone radio silent from them since the incident. Since being in prison the last several years waiting for the sentencing hearing, I have orchestrated a riot, but that was for food reform because the food they feed us there is horrible. All those officers taken in that riot were released safely, and I gave them medical care while they were hurt. Now, there's no excuse for that, but since that happened, the food has been a lot better for the inmates of Bolingbroke. People are no longer malnourished. As well, I have spent time running the inmate work program, helping them build trades, learn trades, mainly electrical work since that's what I'm good at. And several of them have been released on work release programs and now work for the electric company. I definitely do deserve to be behind bars, and I admit that everything I did was wrong. The people I hurt, I do regret that. I wasn't of my right mind. I got way down the rabbit hole, I guess you could say. I'm asking the court today to take into account for the things I've done while in jail, trying to help people rehabilitate and hope for a chance of parole down the line, whether that be 30, 40, or 50 years from now. I hope the state can find some heart in their heart to help me out. That's it. That's all I got to say. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may sit back down. At this time, we will take one final recess for deliberation. This will last as long as I deem appropriate to make my final decision in regards to this sentencing. Once I have come to a conclusion, we will reconvene this court. I should take no longer than 15 minutes. And then from there, the sentence will be known. There's nothing further to do in this session other than await my decision. Thank you.
You wanna tuck upstairs or? No. I'm gonna be right here when the scumbag gets sentenced.
Alright, let's get down to the cell for 15. Get some
Yeah.
water, food.
It is
Stretch.
quite a while as well. Yeah.
Sounds locked, yeah.
Do you know where the nearest bathroom is, by chance?
In here. There's one in the cell.
There. I'll turn away, it's fine.
I bet.
I'll stand over here.
No peeking.
Gonsalves, if you want a cheap laugh, check the cell room, check the court cell room cameras.
Hey, shut up.
It's not me, it's Lieutenant Scott. keep blipping that radio, I'm gonna shove it so far up your ass. You better sneeze and tune in the radio too. How are we, Bob?
As well as it can be.
Good, just make sure you're whispering, you never know who's upstairs.
Dirty sneakers.
Me and Vance.
I'm surprised I didn't see Vance up there.
Went on a welfare check with Bob, Ace Salazar, Bob Saguaro, and an unknown inmate decided they wanted to try and reform the food, so they took us hostage.
That was
Also Caitlin Rogers and Jerry McCoy.
We call that guy lady killer.
Well, we call them family killers.
That's right, family killer.
Mhm.
I haven't seen him since that night. I think he either died in the hole or they sent him somewhere else.
This is the thing, the DOC at the moment, ran by the locals, it's fucking awful. Hopefully we can take back control of it, mate.
I think, didn't Ace escape?
Yep.
You got, well, I won't say what I was about to say.
Aaron! I'm gonna still.
Please, not in the courtroom. Do you know where the nearest bathroom is and everything? Over there. I didn't expect him to take it literal. Scott, come here.
Yo, oh well. Yeah, hold up. I'll just call for him on the rate. Yo, 3-3. I'm back.
How mad do you think my lawyer's gonna be that I
You
fired
needed me,
him?
correct?
How mad do you think my lawyer's gonna be that I fired him?
You needed to speak to me or something, correct?
Yeah. What's up, mate?
Where are you at?
How pissed do you think my lawyer's gonna be that I fired him?
What about your lawyer, sorry?
I fired him. Do you think he's gonna be mad?
Maybe.
Oh well.
How come you fired him?
Because the statement was stupid.
What was his statement?
He was moving for complete acquittal.
You know that's not gonna happen.
Well, I'm not trying to say I didn't do anything wrong. I'm trying to face the piper.
Exactly, yeah.
And you can tell him up there. I fired him for that reason.
I'm not gonna tell him, you can tell him.
I should have added that in my final statement. I forgot
Well,
about it.
it is known now to the public that you are representing yourself. What did he want, Scott?
He just said I caught you in 4K.
Oh, I love
Hey,
my
we
job.
used to say back in the country where I'm from, yeah, we used to say I'm cotton, we cotton. And it means if you have to take a shit, you have to take a shit. So yeah.
Fair enough. What the fuck?
What was that? We don't need that shit on the radio in this.
Can we get SAFR for that person?
Did someone get hurt?
It reminded me of that scene from The In-Betweeners.
Hmm?
It reminded me of that one scene from The In-Betweeners.
Huh?
Oh, you won't get it.
Yeah, never watched it.
You're not missing much.
I'm not missing much, yeah. That's what I thought. I did not. Why did I not hear this?
There's 347 bricks in this cell.
Well done, Bob.
Well, you've counted the bricks by now. Jesus.
No, he's just worked out the area.
Oh yeah, he
so
done the math.
He did
Yeah.
the math. Yeah, he didn't count them. Bob's intelligent.
Fuck man, since you know, even from when we spoke to you in the cells right now, I feel bad, man. But I can't change the outcome, so
I did to myself.
yeah. Yeah, I just feel
looked
bad
over
for
the,
what
I had
happened.
a look over all the paperwork last night. Me and
Yeah,
Vance
did you like my how many sentences I wrote?
Me and Vance were up. We spent 4.5 hours going over it.
Jesus.
Nathan, come on, Bob.
Therefore, time to go again.
This is it.
I'm not gonna put cuffs on you now, but you know,
Yeah,
I know you won't try anything bad.
Coming in.
Right. Are we prepared to hear the sentence?
State is ready.
Mr. McClary?
Aye, the state is ready to hear it.
Mr. Saguaro?
Send it.
I want to start by saying this. Passing a sentence is never an easy task, whether that be from a guilty plea or a guilty verdict. The obligation that the court faces in these scenarios is truly one of pure subjection. There is no evidence to tell me what to sentence somebody in these situations. When I listen to these statements, as passionate as they are, I essentially have to decide who I think is being most truthful. I have to decide if the severity of the crimes outweighs the opportunity for genuine reform. And that is not easy for any court. It really is just a chance if the court is willing to give one. I myself have always been a champion of reformation. But while I believe in second chances, I do not believe in thirds. So I'm going to say this, and I want you to truly understand, Mr. Saguaro, the gravity of what I'm about to say to you.
Yes, Your Honor.
This court will sentence you to 30 years, with time served for the 7 years you have already spent awaiting this sentencing. You will be eligible for parole after 10. You will go before a full parole board, and if your recommendations are anything less than absolutely stellar, I mean gold stars every day from here until then, you will be denied. If you squander this opportunity, if you disappoint me and the decision I have made today in this courtroom, I will not be generous again. Is that understood?
Clear and loud.
Then the decision is just that. 30 years, time served, parole board in 10. I will see you at your parole hearing, Mr. Saguaro. This court session is now adjourned.
See you on the streets.
I hope to see you reformed, Mr. Saguaro.
He's gonna be reformed.
We'll be watching you.
Alright.
With good faith, lad.
Just gonna put cuffs on you just to be sure.
Step back from the gates, please, sir.
Alright. Flow along with us.
I got there,
I'll
go.
leave him with you just for now. A second, I need to sort something. You guys. I'll go back.
Ooh.
Okay.
We first got in here again.
You can leave the bracelets on
Right.
for now.
I'll leave them on. Alright.
I don't think it will take too much longer.
Just let me know if you're hungry or thirsty, then I'll take them off of you and give you some food or water, whatever.
No problem.
And he's already served 7 or something, I've heard, so.
Well, 30 years times, that'd be 360 months? What do you mean 360 months or like 30?
I think it's 360. Are we doing the same teams back?
Bobby, how you doing?
I'm good, Major Vance. Sorry, Colonel.
How are you feeling?
30 years.
Well, we'll see if I can get
Parole
paroled
after
in 10.
10.
How many's that?
He's already served 7 as well, so if you do the math, then it's 36 months until his parole. And then add another 240 for his complete sentence.
Thank you, Lieutenant. You're better at math than me. Alright, alright. That's not bad. That's not bad.
Alright, guys, sounds like we're doing the same teams back, so anyone who's in the convoy before, stays calm.
Commander Harrison.
Yes.
After this, where are you going to be holding your debriefing?
Probably just at Sandy again.
Standing in. All right, I'll mingle here with the politicians, and then I'll probably be heading up for the debriefing as well.
All right, sounds good.
Oh yes, that's why I'm walking back to the courtroom to the front doors.
Wow.
Hey, you boys, be safe.
I want a pay rise.
This is why I wear the big stars.
Yes,
I
pay
want a
rise,
pay rise.
please. Pay rise.
All right, guys, armor up just in case.
Alright, let me get everyone
Yeah.
down who needs. Alright, we're about to be starting down to the cell area.
Eat and drink if you haven't already.
Alright, make sure to eat and drink if you haven't already, just in case someone just go down that way, we don't have to worry about it.
Do both of you
Yeah.
have armor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. Just make sure you're armored up.
Temple. Temple. Alright. It's time to go outside. Alright. At the exit door now, opening.
All flagging yellow.
Right, go back to the prisoner van.
Alright, so let's pop you in there, shall we? The nice cushioned metal seats. Let's just.
We've
Tell you
got
what-
a to our
what I
right
do
up on the
is those
on the
on-
roof.
Preheat it for
Watching.
450.
in, suspecting.
I thought we were gonna make the frozen one.
Did you put your seatbelt on him?
Just moving to do that now.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna head past the front of the courthouse, then make a left into 8 Milton Parker, okay?
Thank you. And that looks like a armored vehicle up there.
Wait, what was that?
Is that an armored vehicle?
Where?
In
The one
front of
in
us.
front?
Lead truck in the convoy.
Oh, that's our special weapons and tactical vehicle.
Reminds me of the MRAPs I used to drive around in Afghanistan.
You was in Afghanistan driving armored vehicles.
Yeah, I served in the military. Why do you think they know how to make bombs? Oh,
I don't know, dodgy YouTube videos.
making friends with the police officers.
The dark web. I don't know.
What'd you say?
I don't. Dark web, dodgy YouTube videos. I don't judge.
No, I learned all my stuff in EOD. Probably why they tried recruiting me into their cause.
How long did you serve in Afghanistan for?
I was in the Marines for 4. I was overseas for 2.
Was you medically discharged or?
Yeah, medically
Just-
discharged. One of them went off on me. Gave me a pretty bad concussion. PTSD. They wouldn't medically clear me to go back to theater, so nothing else
Would you
left
have
for me
liked to go back?
I mean, if I had gone back, I think I would have ended up here, where I am now.
I mean, you could have been in worse situations, right?
Yeah, but would I be a criminal at that point?
You never know what could have happened. Could have been captured, all sorts. You gotta be lucky of what you got, not what you want. Gotta face reality, not the possibilities. Can't change the past, but you can change the future.
That's for sure. That's why one day I hope to open a cigar shop. It's my character story, okay? Leave me alone.
You definitely can't be making bombs if you have a cigar shop.
And I have a passion for cigars, so if I do get out, I'm gonna put my efforts into getting a business license and opening a cigar shop.
How much do you reckon that will cost you to set up?
I'm not sure. I did notice they didn't fine me at all.
They
I figured
they didn't
there'd
fine
be a
you?
big fine for that sentencing. I'm not gonna say nothing. He's just making small talk. They're taking
There's
me to
nothing
jail.
we can do now.
I mean, I think that's on them at this point. Watch them send me an invoice in jail.
So how long was you in prison for before you
I've been
sentenced?
awaiting sentencing for 7 years. So that means, yeah, I was just told my parole date's the 13th. So 10 days from now. Well, 10 years technically.
It's 305.
What is 305?
So I was just on the
That-
video.
Yeah, that was his.
Call sign.
Yeah, so that's how he contacts
Yeah.
or is contacted over
You
radio.
know what my call sign was in the military?
I'm not too familiar with much about the military, and
They called me
you,
monkey.
why?
That's just what stuck. So if you ever heard a radio check for monkey or monkey over the line, that was me. If we come across the bomb, they'd be like, we need monkey up at the front.
So they kind of just throw you in the deep end.
Well, I mean, I had bomb suits. I was trained to disarm bombs and whatnot.
I know a bit of engineering myself.
Oh, shut up.
Of what? Everyone knows that I know a bit of engineering. You ever need a printer engineering? Let me know. If you want a printer for your business.
Don't offer him a fucking printer, Orlando.
You're gonna handle the sentencing, yeah, Linda?
And
Just the nines, yeah.
Yeah,
No, just the nines.
no.
Alright, so let's pop you out this van.
can I get one of my phones back? It's how I run the
Yeah,
inmate.
sure, I'll see
Oh,
you
I've got him.
if they have anything.
Don't give it back to me until I'm in 9s.
Yeah,
It will
yeah,
go
yeah.
away. Oh, this means all my food's gonna go away.
I can get more from the lovely canteen.
Yeah, but my
Apparently
pizza.
there's nice food in there
If
now.
I give you my pizza, will you at least give me my pizza back?
It's gonna be moldy.
The pizza is very important to me. And my onion rings. As much as the food you
Wow,
can
you're
get.
pushing your luck now.
I worked hard for that stuff. I prison reformed the food program. I can't lose my food.
Don't you be trying another food reform.
I have no intention to.
Better not, because I'm not dealing with that again.
Alright, there we go. I've got some goodies. Right, if you want to come with me, we'll get you sorted out.
You
Yes. Do you want me to give you his stuff and then?
Yeah, if you can.
I won't ask for the shank back because that's unrealistic. I don't think you guys will actively give me my knife back.
What fucking phones does he have?
Yeah, two. That's it. All.
I had 2 phones and a radio.
Oh, and his lighter.
Thank you.
Yeah, lighter's how I hook. I heat up food at night in my cell.
Alright, if you come with me, we'll get you into your lovely cell.
We could do sloppy joes. I
Let me
tried
get those cuffs off you now then.
Tried getting that door for you.
And there we go.
I don't know where it'll put me when you put me back.
Well,
but I'll meet you
run
right
around.
back here.
Yeah, sure. Let's have a look here then. Okay,
My ID is 42. Oh, you got it. What's up?
Here we go. Let me drop your goodies on the floor here.
You did like 1,000 nines.
Alright, there you go. I don't know why you got so many phones, but I guess you made them.
Thank you. Yeah, part of the electrical program. Teaching
I see,
inmates
see.
a trade skill.
You got enough money for to buy food in here?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't find me for some reason, so I'm still flush, and I'm
So
getting
there's
welfare.
paperwork for that to go in later. Yeah, oh yeah, you get welfare, you get welfare. Alright, well, stay safe.
Thank you, officer.